welcome to this episode of Ranger Touring. As you can see, there's a fair bit of rain behind us at the moment coming in, and we thought we'd get the awnings out and talk about them quickly. We've got a few different types here. We've got a Darche one and we've got a Bushwakka one, and on the following side we've also got another Darche one. So we've got a few different types of awnings we're going to quickly show you, hopefully before the rain comes today. So a key part about setting the awning up is obviously how quickly you can set it up. Both of our awnings don't take too much time, but we thought we'd go through a bit of an example on how quick it is, and we're going to do a bit of a race to see who can set their awning up the fastest. We've both got straps that we have to use. Chris has a lot less, I have a lot more. So we'll see how this goes. Do I get a head start?
No.
Okay, go. I haven't even got the awning open yet.
I think Chris wins. The fact you're still trying to do it quickly though.
It's anyone's game. Got up on the ropes. I'd say it's pretty close. So we'll start over here. Obviously we've got a Bushwakka awning. This is a 270. What is it, 2 meters, 2.5 meters?
Yeah, 2.5, 2.7, something like that.
Yep, so it's a little bit longer and it's probably better for an SUV style vehicle. If you want to operate out of the back of the car, you can access all your stuff and stay undercover, which is a huge benefit. This one here is mostly freestanding. There is a pole on either side that you can hook up to it as well, which is fantastic. So how long have you had this one on your car for now?
Oh, a year and a half.
And pros, cons?
Easy to set up, quick to set up, much faster than yours. Yeah. You can put it up without any of these legs at all, or if there is a bit of wind, you can chuck them down like we did when we went to Fraser. The only con really is that I did go for the cheaper option of the ones that Bushwakka made, and there is a little bit of leakage through the material. But if you go ahead and get the full canvas one, then you shouldn't get any leakage at all.
Nice. So you can put walls on this as well?
As far as I'm aware, yeah, she's got Velcro on the outside here. You've got tie-down points as well if you really need to pin it down in a bit of wind.
Throwback of our Fraser trip when we're standing in the water, like standing, getting hammered by the water. How much does this set you back?
$999.
From? Where'd you get it?
From Bushwakka. I literally walked down to the factory and bought it.
Yeah, nice, nice. And do you know how heavy this one's coming at?
I believe it's 24 kilos.
Okay.
So it's probably heavier than yours.
Yep.
But in saying that, it's got heavy duty mounts, 3x, up on the ARB base rack, so it's not moving.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a bit longer as well, so I guess it's got to pick the weight up somewhere. So as you can see, this is a Darche ECLIPSE 180 awning. It costs about 900 bucks. I got it from Tent World. They don't really budge much on the price. The pros for this awning are the fact that once it's set up, it runs the whole length of my vehicle, so I can access obviously all your doors and get in, and you're not going to get wet. You can normally put a single swag or a double swag and still have a little bit of admin space around. Another pro for the awning is it is a pretty quick setup. Even though Chris absolutely demolished me in the setup time, this isn't very long. It's still 2 minutes at maximum if you're going quite slowly. I think it only took about 1.5 minutes for us. I'll see when I check the video. Additionally, you can hook up awning walls to the side of it and really expand that space and enclose it. I don't own the walls, and I probably wouldn't do that because to me an awning is more just for getting it out when the weather turns south or when you just want a little bit of shade. Another pro for this awning is the fact that it can handle the wind really well. There's 2 straps that you need to tie down to some point on the back of your car. I've got them hooked up to my roof racks, and that holds it down perfectly. Tighten the strap, and this is withstood in 25 knot winds. Yeah, depending on the direction of the wind, you might need to peg it down. It's definitely not a freestanding awning by any means. So another perk is that it is a true one-man setup. You can set up and take down on your own, and it's not going to blow away in the wind. Those single awnings are a real pain when it comes to that. My original awning before I got this one was a King's one. The canvas sagged when there was water in it. This is a lot better. Hasn't sagged on me at all yet. It's remained taut the whole time, and it's just a lot better quality. And when you buy Darche products, you can tell there's a massive difference. So to touch on a few cons for this awning, it is 20 kilos, so it is kind of heavy. And it's a bit of weight to have up high. You definitely need some quality roof racks to be able to hold it. Cost obviously is a con. If you're going to buy quality four-wheel drive products, so there's going to be a cost associated. Like I said, $900 for this thing. It is a fair bit of money. And the last thing is, it's not a true freestanding awning. Problem is, you always have to get your poles out, and then if it does pick up under the wind, it'll start to pick up like this and start to flap around. So you may have to tie some ropes down, which is a little bit annoying. But overall, I'm really happy with this purchase. For someone who owns a ute that doesn't have a canopy on the back, this is a pretty good setup. So Chris has obviously got another awning on the side of his car, which is Darche, which is again a quality canvas on the side and quality poles. You can feel they're a lot better than a lot of the Kings ones. Again, not knocking Kings, they're just cheaper, and they're targeting people who don't, I guess, use them all the time. Problem with these ones is when you're trying to fold this up under high winds, if the wind picks up and grabs this, they're quite hard to roll up. And then also you've got these poles sticking out. It's quite an awkward setup. I would argue that this is probably a two-person setup. Difficulty with one person for sure. Definitely would prefer two people. The other annoying part is you definitely have to have this tied down. There's no weight pulling this on the ground, so you definitely have to have this tied down. The benefits to this though, they're cheap. Yeah, you can pick one of these up for, obviously from Kings for about $100. If you go Darche, you're still gonna spend $300 on this kind of awning. Just want to now talk about an awning that's not here, which is the Darche 270 awning. So it keeps the same style as this one forwards, but then coming down to the rear, it's got another point here, which pivots out and goes around the back, just like Chris's, but unfortunately, for Chris's, it doesn't come past the front door, whereas the 270 Darche does. Obviously, you're still going to lose time setting up. That's another thing that you've got to consider. It's going to be slightly long to set up. If you're talking about all-around coverage, that's probably the best option. If you're talking about speed of setup, something like the Bushwakka, Bush Company has a good one too, which is also very similar, or the Rhino Rack Batwing. Problem with getting a 270-degree awning on a ute, which doesn't have a cover, I know it's ideal to cover still the back of your car, but the problem is where this would have to sit is so far forward. That'd actually be in your peripheral vision when you're driving, and also that there's only two mounts in this case if you're using crossbars, and therefore there's not a lot of structural integrity. You have the whole thing forward and then a lot of weight hanging over the back. So that's probably a major reason why I won't go to a 270-degree awning on this car. If I get a canopy on my next car, I'm getting a 270-degree awning. So you've seen three types of awnings today on different cars. They've obviously got their perks for different reasons. Depends on what you want to do and how you're going to use your car. 180s are great, 270s are great, and if you just want to be out on the weekend every so often, those single standalone awnings are great as well. I hope you've learned something about the awnings and these brands as well during this video. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments. Thanks for watching. Ranger Touring.